Welcome everyone to the Complete Pineleaf, where today we are going to begin season number 7. We're going to start here in Dunharrow, then head into Gondor, and run the various parts of Gondor all the way to Minas Tirith. But we're going to be starting here with Eowyn to find out what she needs from us. Introduction to Western Gondor.
What brings you to these lands?
Hail, Pineleaf, and well met. We have much to speak of. I am sure that we do.
I am glad you have come with such haste, for these troubles weigh heavily upon me.
Pineleaf, I'm glad you have come with such haste, for these troubles weigh heavily upon me, and I don't know how they may be overthrown. It is my uncle's choice to ride to Minas Tirith, and thereby satisfy the vows of his forefathers. But why should he not ride for Gondor with every sword that he could command, either by oath or love? It is folly to allow proven warriors to abandon my uncle's course, lest it be doomed by their absence. And yet, in the early hours, Aragorn and his kinsmen departed Dunharrow for the paths of the dead. He spoke of need, but I can see no need on that road save that of a yawning tomb that hopes to be filled. The dead men of Dunharrow do not suffer the living to pass. Several of the men saw him go, and speak words of despair. Find these men and set their minds aright if you can. And when you return, do the same for me, Pineleaf. I don't think you can, but I must wear a brave face for the men, and will not give in to sorrow for their sake. Very well. Speak with the men around the camp to keep hope up despite the fact that Aragorn has headed off to the paths of the dead. I've always been hearing nasty things about them, probably because of all those oath breakers that are supposed to be there from the story that we were given at one point. Hello there.
The grim northerners departed Dunharrow at first light.
The grim northerners departed Dunharrow, but did not stay to explain their course. I would think them cowardly had I not seen the road that they took, south, along the dim Holt road. That way lies death. Yes, Aragorn has his reasons for taking the road. Yeah, I do not doubt that he had reasons, friends, but it's clear his loyalty is not the Theoden king. We will have need of every man if we are to ride to Minas Tirith, and my king commands, and I see that we are cheated of a powerful fighting force by Aragorn's choice. I count the chances of our success against the enemy less and less with each sword he takes with him into the mountains. I saw the winged beast over Edoras. I know what dangers we face. Yeah, it is not exactly what you would call a safe way to be. Alright. How about over here where we have Bosa?
Men are still arriving at Dunharrow from all corners of the mark.
I don't think this would be enough men. I rode forth from the Hornburg as my king commanded, and most hamlets and villages responded to his call with clear voices and proud hearts. But this day I see few of those who spoke loudest. On my return from Forlaw in Wildemore, I was beset by an orc raiding party. The injuries I sustained will keep me from riding in my king's train, to my frustration and disappointment. Swords and spears need men to wield them, and that resource is in short supply. I say men, but the blood of Theoden King's niece Eowyn burns for Rohan, and she would fight bravely for the kingdom, were it permitted. Alas, it is not so, and the both of us will be kept from doing what we desire, for I am a man injured, and she is a woman unwounded. Unhappy fortunes. Unhappy fortunes. And now, let's see what else we have. Ah, here's the third person we need to speak with. I wonder Why do we have two rings here? You would think that one ring would be sufficient.
This road leads to the Grimmerberg. Why would anyone go to that haunted mountain?
Why would anyone go there or tread the paths beneath it? That is not bravery. Only folly could lead their feet there. I'm sure that Aragorn considers his reasons for braving the road to be sufficient. I hope that he is not wrong, Pineleaf. It seems a great shame to allow a skilled warrior to disappear into such a place when he could use his talents elsewhere, at other battles. Well, it appears that the people here are not happy with Aragorn departing. I came to give you your encouraging words.
We are plagued with ill fortune. A child may have followed Aragorn into the paths of the dead.
Yes, an encampment of this size is bound to attract the attention of children and others who live near. That much I expected. But I did not expect even children to act in such reckless, foolhardy fashions. This boy tells me that one of his friends, Elfdag, may have followed Aragorn into the paths of the dead. I thought it a mere boast of the child, but none of have seen Elfdag today, and dispatched a number of men to find him, but they too have not returned. Elfdag is the grandson of Elfhelm, Pineleaf. We can't have lost him in his fashion. Oh, all right, fine. What's this all about, Rodwina?
I did not mean for it to go so far.
We watched the men ride to the mountain in the morning, and then Elfdag challenged me to follow him, and I did the same to him, and before you could say Helm Hammerhand, we were right up at the dark door. I returned to the camp after that, and I thought he followed my heels, but now he's gone, and no one can find him. Oh boy. Well, that's a bit of a problem.
If I bring you to the entrance, will you enter the mountain and search for Elfdag?
I suppose so. Yes, you are a hero, aren't you not? I overheard some of the men speaking of your deeds, and by their account, you seem an accomplished adventurer. If I bring you to the entrance, will you enter the mountain and search for him? I will not follow you. I promise. Yes, I promise. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll bring you to the place. If you have a fellowship of like-minded adventurers, bring them along too. I dare say there will be a place for them all. I think I'll take this one on my own, all right? I suppose we should go.
The Dimholt Road leads to the dark door and the paths beneath the haunted mountain where the dead walk. Few dare to go that way.
I wonder why. Hello there. Have you come to seek Elfdag? I ventured beneath the mountain with several of my men, but we ran afoul of the dead, and only I survived the encounter. I fled the cavernous room where they fell, but I feel no shame for it. It was folly to come here. There was a passage we sought to search in the southwest wall of the cavernous room, but we were set upon by before we could venture that way. If you see Elfdag, will you? That is a good place to begin. But wait, before you go, are you journeying with any by yourself, or do you have a fellowship near at hand? Speak to me again and give me your answer. Yes, there are a few quests like this in the Western Gondor area where there are two versions of the quest. Is the solo version and the fellowship version, and obviously I'll be doing the solo version since I don't have a fellowship with me, but I also have something to eat before I go into this, just in case it's my last meal. So I will succeed by myself. And of course, it's going to be tougher if you. I'll be fine. Well, good luck to you. Tread carefully, for this place is a great danger. Yes. Let's go. Obviously, the Fellowship version is tougher, and I don't think I'm going to be that tough in order to get through there. Now, here we are with the warriors. And for some reason, this is a level 96 instance. You would think that with the fact that this is before you enter Gondor proper, and that they just leveled the increased the level cap, that they could have made this a level 95 quest and then raise it after you cross through here. But it seems like whenever they an expansion, they start at one level above the old cap, despite the fact that those just starting out wouldn't have to worry about it. Now, in this case, there are two of them, but usually we could get through one at a time. Unless you get really close to them. Oh, there can be no release for us. No release for us. Alright, if you say so. There can be no release, yes. Oh, there you go. Now, down into... Ah, now this time I think there's no way to avoid fighting both of them at the same time. So we'll just have to take them down. One Oathbreaker at a time. And we will eventually... Now, if I remember correct... One of Waldera's companions lies here, victim of the dead. Alright. Oh, there he is. I was wondering, where is he? Oh, there he is. Now we'll just take down the next one. And you can see, yeah, it's full of the dead. It starts out lightly, as you can see here. It gets tougher when you get to the right place. Ah, he gets activated as soon as you kill the previous one. Alright. Yeah, I had forgotten exactly how it went, obviously, if I had forgotten about that little detail. Alright. Oh. Well, I guess we'll just... Some of Waldera's companions lie beside the unsettling stream. An unsettling stream. Or is it an unsettled stream? Whoopsie daisy! Didn't see that. Now, at some point, I'm going to have to turn and head to the southwest tunnel in the Paths of the Dead. Southwest. Now, how to get to the southwest tunnel? Apparently I need to cross the stream. Oh, it'd be nice if it were fordable by hobbits, but apparently it's not, and this will eventually turn to the southwest. Alright, yeah, the walking one is green and the other one is... I guess that's so that you only fight one at a time at this point. And not have to worry about them together. Alright. Now, I'm sure this is unique to the solo version. Probably so that those who play softer classes don't get overwhelmed. Especially since this isn't a 96 quest, and I'm sure that when it was first released, that more of them out there. And most people were 95 doing this. So that's one possibility. You see movement in the tunnel to the west. Ah, okay. So they do give you a warning that it's time to turn to the west. That's good to see. And now it's your turn. They're always talking about having no release. Well, too bad. I'll release you that way. I know that doesn't release them really. So now crossing the stream again. Oh. My wounds are severe, but we will not check. We did not check this tunnel. Oh, someone else survived? Well, I suppose it was premature for me to say that he survived. Slightly premature. Yes. Is this really a tunnel? I guess so. All right. Oh, this thing again. I think they could have had a couple of fewer of these pairs coming along as we came down here. I think we sort of got the idea already. This place belongs to the dead. All right, we won't take it from you. We won't take it for you. I'll just go collect the boy and be out of here, right? Yeah, that's it. Well, assuming that he's still alive, of course, because that's always a little minor problem, especially considering all those men there. He cowers in the court ahead, frightened by the dead. Oh my! New deed, the paths of the dead. Are you a warden? Are you here to help me? Yep, I am. Watch out, the dead are everywhere! Even if you cannot see them. Well, then we'll just have to deal with them. Oops. That wasn't... actually, this isn't... not too much trouble there. For the first time I did this, there were a couple of tricks involved in doing this. And we'll start with you. And now I can do you. But yeah, it can be tricky doing this particular one. When you have the two at a time and you have a couple of waves of them, you have proven your persistence over the dead, and they retreat warily. Is that all of them? It is impossible to say for certain. You're a great adventurer, I can tell, but I think we should leave at once. These dead men won't stay away for long, no matter how often they are defeated. We will speak at once. Once we are above ground. Yes, I overheard some things you will want to know. All right, fine. I will. Let's get out of here. It's good that we got out of there safely.
You are not going to tell my grandfather, are you?
I had everything in hand, but I'm certain that grandfather would not think so. If you tell him of this adventure of mine, he's bound to lock me up in Underharrow, and the wife of the Thane does not appreciate young lads or lasses underfoot. She always scowls when she sees my friends and me about. I dare say we would be safer neath the Dwemerberg than in the house of Ellen Fremedon. Updike's expression is one of horrified fear, and I quickly assure him that he will keep his freedom if he tells me what he saw. Well, it was dark, and there were shadows flitting all about, but if you really strained your ears, you could hear whispers and sighs, the voices of the dead. I gathered from their talk that a man had come through hours before and claimed he could free them from their curse. Some of the dead followed him and left in his wake, but others of the dead did not believe his claim, and they stayed behind. They are especially cruel, and they have abandoned any hope of escaping the curse. These are now the ruthless dead, and they hate the living and the dead alike. I suppose I'm glad to be back above ground after all. I suppose you would be. Well, that was quite a tale, Eowyn.
You have exceeded your reputation this day.
I did not relish the thought of telling Elfhelm that his grandson had disappeared beneath the haunted mountain. Perhaps I would have had my brother do so. Yes, but this grumbling would have been insufferable. Well, yes, there is that. Now, let's see. We have. I suppose I will take the shoulder. And this is where they introduce the concept of essences. I'm sure I'll get plenty of essences as we go along. But anyway, it's going to be essence gear throughout the next few areas.
I ask you to travel the paths of the dead, and by that way come into Gondor.
Elfdag's adventure beneath the Dwemerberg may have been ill-advised, but it has given us warning of a new danger. Aragorn has passed into Gondor, and it seems from Elfdag's reports that he is followed by some number of the dead that believe he can offer them redemption. I can't say if it be true or if it be false, but as long as the dead men believe it, Aragorn need not fear them. But this other group, these ruthless dead, if they have forever cast their lot in with Sauron, then Aragorn will have no safety from them. Neither will the folk of Gondor, and our friend's passage may have planted a dangerous seed in the minds of the ruthless dead. With no hope of redemption, what reason is there to remain within the mountain? If you have no desire to atone for your evils, what would prevent you from adding to the number of your sins? I ask that you travel to the paths of the dead, Pineleaf, and by that way come into Gondor. The people there must be protected, and if they can't be saved from the threat of the ruthless dead, they must flee to a place of safety, if any still exist in this world. What will I find on the other side of the paths of the dead? We have to find that out in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.